You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
I'm going to try and talk to some people and see if they have an idea of what's going on. Ma'am, were you let out of work early today? You're on live, Channel 11.
I was at the work. I work on 55 Water for TD Waterhouse. We saw the whole thing.
You saw everything?
The plane hit. We saw the second plane. We saw when the thing blew up, the fire, and we lost it. Everybody just left. That was it.
Can you just tell me, you were on the ground. Tell me your name.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Jeanette.
Jeanette.
Oh, God.
You're obviously very emotional. Jeanette.
I'm sorry.
I know. I can totally understand that. Yes, go ahead, Jim. I'm going to try and talk to some people and see if they have an idea of what's going on. Ma'am, were you let out of work early today? You're on live, Channel 11.
I was at the work. I work on 55 Water for TD Waterhouse. We saw the whole thing.
You saw everything?
The plane hit. We saw the second plane. We saw when the thing blew up, the fire, and we lost it. Everybody just left. That was it.
Can you just tell me, you were on the ground. Tell me your name.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Jeanette.
Jeanette.
Oh, God.
You're obviously very emotional. Jeanette.
I'm sorry.
I know. I can totally understand that. Yes, go ahead, Jim.
The fire, and we lost it. Everybody just left. That was it.
Can you just tell me, you were on the ground. Tell me your name.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Jeanette.
Jeanette.
Oh, God.
You're obviously very emotional.
Tell us.
Lynn, we're on the street here on 42nd and 2nd Avenue just to give you an idea of what's going on. It seems like it's rush hour right now. You can see we're at a phone booth. A lot of people trying to get in touch with their loved ones. I was one of those on a cell phone. Sir, were you able to get service with that?
No.
As a result of no service, you've got people that are just trying to get in touch with anyone who is downtown. Ma'am, can you just be careful? As you can see, some people obviously very emotional here. If you can just take a look over here. People trying to figure out what is going on. The whole consensus is out on the street. Not a lot of people really understand what is happening on the streets of New York. If you can take a look, a lot of people have come up to me, asked me questions. Do you know what's going on? A lot of people are unaware, but what we can tell you is that a lot of businesses are letting people go. If you could take a look down here on 2nd Avenue, a lot of the people are coming this way. Also, you're hearing fire engines, you're hearing police trucks, just a slew of activity as people are trying to make a mad dash. But the problem is, as we have been notifying people, all bridges and tunnels are closed, as well as what we are seeing, a lot of buses are not in service. So at this point, if you are in Manhattan, my understanding is you should stay in Manhattan or try and stay in this vicinity because the roadways are clogged. I'm going to try and talk to some people and see if they have an idea of what's going on. Ma'am, were you let out of work early today? You're on live, Channel 11.
I was at the work. I work on 55 Water for TD Waterhouse. We saw the whole thing.
You saw everything?
The plane hit. We saw the second plane. We saw when the thing blew up, the fire, and we lost it. Everybody just left. That was it.
Can you just tell me, you were on the ground. Tell me your name.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Jeanette.
Jeanette.
Oh, God.
You're obviously very emotional. Jeanette.
I'm sorry.
I know. I can totally understand that. Yes, go ahead, Jim.
As you basically informed some people what happened, assuming some people had no idea what was happening, what kinds of reactions are you getting from people?
Oh,
there
look at
goes
this.
the second tower.
You're going to the second tower. You're looking at this live right now.
Okay.
Both towers now completely destroyed of the World Trade Center. You have no idea how many people may have been in those buildings. We have no idea. This was a major communication center for this city, for this country. Many government offices in those towers. Amazing video as you're watching it now. It's not video, it's live. It's right before your very eyes.
I want you to listen to me because I'm only going to say this once. Never, ever trust the news again. only is it the same crisis actress, but I don't even know how many different things, like it's 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 different fake hoax shootings, gun grabs. And then this video I found that I've seen the video enough times of the original of this whole thing, and I could tell right away that it had been manipulated. And so I put this little thing together with I say real, I don't know that that's real, that's original, or the original release version, okay? And then they have the remastered version, the digitally altered, morphed, face swapped, whatever version on the right there. And you may say that it's the aspect ratio, but you know, they have the globe back there, and the globe is circular, it's round in both versions, and so it tells me that they only digitally manipulated the face. They made the teeth bigger, they did certain things to make them look different.
The worst days of my life. I guess I didn't know how much one person can love another until you just don't know where they're at. You just have no idea, and I'm just hoping for a sign of some sort that he's okay. And I believe in God, and I believe that God is with him, and that is what I hold on to. That is where my hope comes from.
My heart is with you, Emily, and I can't even pretend to understand what this is like for you. You know, if let's remain optimistic. If he's okay, you know, and in that first phone call with him, what's the first thing you're going to tell him? That first phone call with him, what's the first thing you're going to tell him? That God is our Savior, and that if we can make it through this, then there's nothing that can stand between us. And I just cannot wait to see his smile, and I'm just in hope that that time will come very shortly. And yeah. Emily Eisenman, I am thinking only happy thoughts for you. Thank you so much for the time. Let's stay in touch.
It may seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. Hot air balloon, I could go to space. With the air, but I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm clap along if you feel like that's what you wanna do. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Give me all you got and don't hold me back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't none. Bring me down, the love is too hard. Bring me down, can't none. Bring me down, I said. Bring me down, can't none. Bring me down, the love is too hard. Bring me down, can't none. Bring me down, I said. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Clap along if Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Come on.
Is an incredible discrepancy between horrific events that she describes and her very, very cool demeanor. And if you look closely, you'll see duping delight throughout this video. You'll see duping delight throughout this video.
I really like Harry Potter.
So
If you feel like happiness is the truth. If you know what happiness is to you.
and so I know you
Everyone should have a healthy distrust of the media. One of the most dangerous, unspoken things in existence in the world today is a media controlled by a very small group of corporate entities. Every day, we are constantly lied to and constantly told what to think. And most of us never even realize it. It's become a duty and call to action to wake people up to this reality. Before blindly listening to what's hurled at you, everyone has a personal responsibility to at least know what's going on before handing your mind over to the many forms of media indoctrination. In short, wake up. It becomes a frustrating experience to wake people up from the matrix, so to speak, and constantly overhear people all around still completely misdirected and mired in false narratives. The day after the attack in Paris, for example, almost everyone immediately began talking about how crazy people in the world are today, changing their profiles to French flags and immediately posting support and condolences. And the irony was that no one had a clue about what really happened or why the entire world was made to watch. In addition to that, most people are lazy, distracted by a capitalistic existence, don't know they are brainwashed, and most times don't know what they are doing or why. Your thoughts are not your own, and you're being led by the hand every step of the way. Most people openly and defiantly do not trust their governments. People know better. However, simultaneously, they overtly trust each and everything their government does, says, and presents anyway. Because most people trust corporate news narratives where they get most of their information and never question any of it. Most people are still completely unaware that governments orchestrate and/or stage events all the time. This was always done throughout history and is still maintained today. This is nothing new under the sun. You can't even explain this to sheeple, because you might become the one under attack or ridiculed for trying to tell people the real truth. Unfortunately, we have a world of people who don't understand how the world works. The media is not for information, it's for indoctrination. It's owned and operated by a very small group, and the objective of news media is compromised. It's not about informing you about what's going on in the world. The main function is to carry out agendas and control what you think, how you behave, and what you believe.
Well, I've been a journalist for about 25 years, and I was educated to lie, to betray, and not to tell the truth to the public. And it is not right what my colleagues do and have done in the past, because they are bribed to betray the people, not only in Germany, all over Europe.
Despite the fact that lots of our news is corporate-controlled fiction, we have been brainwashed to accept the news as the infallible truth. We are a society of drones who do not know how to think critically. And because of our media brainwashing, things often go very wrong, impacting the lives of citizens irreparably. All day, every day, just a few corporations cooperate each other's talking points, edit all the news, and dispatch everything you're meant to hear on all networks. There are several video compilations showing you just that.
Who are you really shopping for this holiday season? It's okay, you can admit it if you've bought an item or 2 or 10, for yourself.
It's okay, you can admit it if you bought an item or 2 or 10 for yourself.
It's okay, you can admit it for yourself.
It's okay, you can admit it, Todd. If you bought an item or 2 or 10 for yourself.
It's okay, you can admit it. If you bought an item or 2 or 10 for yourself.
It's okay, you can admit it. If you brought an item or 2 or maybe 10 for yourself. It's okay, you can admit it. If you bought an item or 2.
It's okay, you can admit it. If you bought an item or 2.
2 or maybe 3 or 4, maybe even 10 items for yourself.
It's okay, you can admit it, can admit it, can admit it, can admit it, can admit it.
Now that was something light. They control your thoughts about blatant police misconduct, routinely caught on video, but it gets psychologically downplayed, and they successfully make half of our society believe there's another side of the story. They also run completely fake news stories to support the fake war on terror on a regular basis. If you don't think that's true, hang on just a second. The government sends agents out to trick poor, desperate, sometimes even mentally challenged people, easily lured in by the promise of money. Then they lock them up and throw them on the news as militant Islamic terrorists on the loose, who have been apprehended by great work, as they promote the law enforcement and intelligence agencies as heroes. Some of you already know this, a lot of you don't. If you still doubt that, take a look at the Newburgh 4 debacle.
The reason that I feel as safe as you could possibly be. This is a city where people want to live together, and once again, when we are threatened, the NYPD, and working with the other foreign and domestic intelligence agencies, has shown that they are doing exactly what we would expect. As you know, the commissioner has devoted roughly 1,000 police officers to intelligence and counterterrorism. Commissioner Falkenrath is here with us today. These people do, behind the scenes, day in and day out, collect and analyze and prepare and train. And when something occurs, once again, they were there when we needed them.
They stated that they wanted to commit jihad. And again, more information about the motive, I'm sure, will be developed as the case progresses. But right now, that was stated they wanted to commit jihad. They were disturbed about what was happening in Afghanistan and Pakistan, that Muslims were being killed. They all made the statement that they didn't, if Jews were killed in this attack, it wouldn't, that would be all right.
What all those familiar faces were talking about was all a setup.
Well, 3 men convicted of trying to blow up synagogues in New York have each been sentenced to 25 years in prison. But the case has raised huge controversy after they were actually incited by the FBI and handed fake bombs. Well, critics claim it was a setup, but the judge said her hands were tied. Marina Portnoy has more.
In countless so-called FBI sting operations,
FBI operatives provided the fake C4 and actually showed them a fake Stinger missile.
the inspiration to attack America has come from a government-paid informant working to orchestrate the plan. A tactic, critics say, exercised in a New York case dubbed Newburgh 4. The suspects, poor, illiterate African-American Muslims, were presented as the faces of homegrown terrorism and subsequently found guilty of conspiring and attempting terrorist attacks against the U.S. Direction came from Shahid Hussain, a Pakistani immigrant on the FBI payroll, reportedly paid $100,000 for his services. According to court testimony, Hussain recruited the cash-strapped former convicts by offering cars and cash to carry out the operation. Not one defendant had a passport or license. The Newburgh 4 were sentenced to 25 years in prison. A tearful and angered crowd of supporters gathered outside Manhattan's federal courthouse.
Who holds the government accountable? Turning on your own American citizens, people that's born right here on American soil. This is a damn shame. Miscarriage of justice, and we will keep fighting back.
The government should not be allowed to entrap folks, to make plans and set the whole course of a complete plan, and then take the victims and sentence them to 25 years in prison.
FBI informants have reportedly been used in dozens of so-called foil plots since 9/11. Critics say hundreds of Americans are languishing behind bars for fake terror attacks planted and grown by the U.S. government.
And if you think that's an isolated case, think again. There's also the Miami 7 and several other incidents just like it. How does this even happen? Well, because most of us do not think critically. And people keep watching and trusting what they see and hear in the media. I can do this for a long time, showing examples and clips throughout history that show you how societal stupidity has been socially engineered, and people trusting the system fall right into the usual traps of media indoctrination. They have a frequently used strategy of making you trust in the source and then repeating the message.
10 for yourself.
It's okay, you can admit it, Todd. If you bought an item or 2 or 10 for yourself.
It's okay, you can admit it. If you bought an item or 2 or 10 for yourself.
It's okay, you can admit it. If you brought an item or 2 or maybe 10 for yourself. It's okay, you can admit it. If you brought an item or 2 or 10.
With all that considered, I've also recently defended some high-profile people, and some people didn't understand why. Celebrities and public figures influence the masses, sometimes make lots of money, and attempt to do very ambitious things that affect the status quo. Character assassinations and even literal assassinations happen all the time, and for reasons you will never hear about. Sometimes the character assassinations have truth to it. Oftentimes, it doesn't, or includes exaggerations or fabrications with an endgame in mind. Regardless, what you should not do is sit there before TV sets like mindless lemmings, listening to everything you hear about any one of us. Could what you be hearing be true? Sure it could, but we as citizens should reserve judgment and demand that justice and due process be done through the courts for all of us, no matter what. No one should be tried through the media because your thoughts and emotions are being created and toyed with without your awareness. You would be playing their game, and you're shredding the contents of your own constitution, laws, and rights.
Documents made public today, Bill Cosby admitted under oath in 2005 to obtaining Quaaludes with the intent of giving them to young women with whom he wanted to have sex.
In court documents made public today, Cosby admits to buying Quaaludes with the intent of giving them to women he wanted to sleep with.
Admission in print. In a 2005 deposition, Bill Cosby says he got Quaaludes with the intention of giving them to women he wanted to have sex with.
More details are emerging from a 2005 deposition in which Bill Cosby admits under oath that he obtained sedatives to give women he wanted to have sex with.
Your reaction to hearing what Bill Cosby admitted to under sworn testimony?
Complete validation across the board from all of us.
Now we're some health news. You know the old expression, don't worry, be happy?
Don't worry, be happy.
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 Don't worry.
Do you know what I'm talking about? The Matrix. Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind.
There's been no evidence that the Iraqis have been able to use chemical warheads in any of these stunts.
Your concern about chemicals is certainly well taken. I've been through at least 3 or 4 briefing classes.
Gentlemen?
Both the American military and the NATO military on this.
Gentlemen.
Yes.
Excuse me for breaking in. Charles J. Carver.
Without Derek Zoolander, male modeling wouldn't be what it is today.
Actually, hiring Eddie was my idea from the beginning.
Excuse me, where's the lobby?
Down the hall and to the left.
Thanks.
McDonald is here, live on Monday Night Raw. Hey, look at this! Donald Trump! Donald Trump taking down Vince McMahon! Oh, my God! The hostile takeover of Donald Trump on Vince McMahon has happened at WrestleMania 23. I didn't think he would do it!
Okay, kids, make it fast. I've got a plane to catch.
We've created a magazine. Mr. Trump, we give you Scabby.
We are not merely transferring power from one administration to another, or from one party to another, but we are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people.
And we give it back to you, the people.
For too long, a small group in our nation's capital
are corrupt,
has reaped the rewards of government,
the rich,
while the people have borne the cost.
the oppressors of generations who have kept you down with myths of opportunity.
The establishment protected itself, but not the citizens of our country.
And do you accept the resignation of all of these liars, of all the corrupt?
That all changes, starting right here and right now, because this moment is your moment. It belongs to you.
None shall interfere. Do as you please.
January 20th, 2017 will be remembered as the day the people became the rulers of this nation again. The United States of America.
It will endure.
You know, I've been hearing more and more about a thing called fake news.
Fake news.
I've seen people destroyed, and I think it's very unfair. Some of the media outlets that deal with the fake news.
Fake news.
I think it's a disgrace. the absolute disgrace, but I don't think they care. Well, first of all, one of the reasons I'm here today is to tell you the whole Russian thing, that's a ruse. It's a ruse. I own nothing in Russia. I don't have any deals in Russia. Russia is fake news. I just see many, many untruthful things. The press has become so dishonest. The public doesn't believe you people anymore. You have a lower approval rate than Congress. I've been hearing more and more about a thing called fake news.
Fake news.
I've seen people destroyed, and I think it's very unfair. Some of the media outlets that I deal with the fake news.
Fake news.
I think it's a disgrace, the absolute disgrace, but I don't think they care. I'll tell you something, I don't mind bad stories. I can handle a bad story better than anybody as long as it's true. But I'm not okay when it is fake. It's all fake news. I mean, it's story after story after story. We're not gonna let it happen again. The public gets, when I go to rallies, they want to throw their records to CNN. Here's the thing, I want to see an honest press. I want to see an honest press. I want to see an honest press. It's so important to see an honest press. I want to see an honest press. I want to see an honest press. But our nation's reporters will not tell you the truth. So I'll go over just some of them. MSNBC. You are fake news. The New York Times. You are fake news. CBS, NBC, ABC,
BBC, LA Times.
You are fake news.
The Washington Post.
You are fake news.
CNN,
Very fake news.
Politico, AP,
BuzzFeed.
Failing pile of garbage. And I've been hearing more and more about a thing called fake news.
Fake news.
I've seen people destroyed, and I think it's very unfair. Some of the media outlets that I deal with the fake news.
Fake news.
I think it's a disgrace, the absolute disgrace, but I don't think they care.